record on this computer. All right, cool. Okay, so we're recording now. All right, so the business plan. So far, the drafts look good. As you have noticed, it takes me forever to grade a lot of the stuff because reading all of them. And I try and give a lot of feedback on all of them. By the way, case in point, if you're reading my feedback and you think, wow, he is really harsh, I'm not. I read 33 of these or 32 of these. So I just try and give feedback really fast. So don't take anything I say if it sounds harsh. I don't mean it harsh at all. I'm just giving my feedback and then putting it through. So don't think that I'm being harsh on you or not. And then feel free to shoot me an email, or you can do separate Zooms if you have any further questions or anything like that moving forward. So far, things look good though on the drafts. Title page is APA, either 6 or 7. And we're going to go over, I have one that I asked actually on the call right now, if I could use his as an example, because the content and things are really good. So I want to use his as an example. I always like to do that. So we'll go over title page and I'll kind of adjust his, and then hopefully you guys can learn how to do proper formatting and stuff for APA. Either 6th or 7th edition is fine. So in the executive summary, you notice that in the executive summary and company description, there is like some redundancies, like company description right here. I am absolutely okay with you taking out company description from the marketing plan and moving it up to here in your company description. The executive summary is basically an introduction for the entire document. What's going to be in the entire document? It can literally be 2 to 3 sentences. And remember this is probably the most important thing about business plans. You make a business plan. You really don't need a business plan when you start a company. I had a business plan, but you make a business plan to deliver to banks. I mean, that's really the biggest thing about a business plan. And I'm going to show you, the one that I had for my company when we first started way back in 2015. Not like it was that long ago, but I'm going to show you that. So, and then we can, you can see some examples of what we turned into our bank when we applied for our small business loan. A lot of these sections, so in a normal semester, not COVID, I would be a little bit more stringent about what you put in. Plus, we would have some in-person lectures. It wouldn't be 100% online. I like to do this class as a hybrid. And we would meet several times throughout the semester. But because of COVID, I'm going to be like way more lenient on stuff. I'm not going to grade you guys as hard. And for the final, you don't need to go so in depth on these. A few sentences and a good paragraph is good. Like when we get into so when you guys did the marketing plan, I really want to go over cost benefit analysis, because this is one of the most important aspects of a business, is figuring out what's called ROI, your return on investment. Return on investment is so important to figure out, and you have to know your overhead. Overhead is what your costs are or expenses are as a company. So that's one thing that I want to go over. Operational plan. If you can, in your operational plan, upfit timeline, you may not have an upfit. Upfit is any sort of internal construction or construction that you need to do to get your place ready, or just moving in equipment. Most upfit timelines, if there's no construction, will take about a month. When I was upfitting my facility, it took about 3 months because I had some construction going on. So things to think about with that. Preferred location, you can, wherever you're going to be, if you're going to be in Wilmington, do it, where you want to be in Wilmington. So search out on a map, where is your demographics? What's your target market? For your target market, make sure you have socioeconomic status in there. That's so important. And that has to match your service product, your service product amount, like how much your services cost, which is right up here, services overview. So, and then make sure you have that in bullet point format. like how much your services cost. Let's see. What else? So a preferred location, ideally, you want to be close to where your target market is. And you can find all this, most of the time, you can find this information from censuses. So if your target market is upper middle class, well, we know that upper middle class in Wilmington is around the Mayfair area and also around the Masonboro Sound area. So your facility should be around one of those two areas. People don't like to travel really far to go to either strength conditioning, holistic medicine, physical therapy. They don't like going really far places to go to things. So central location also plays an important role. What's your preferred square footage? I'll be honest with you. When I did my first go around in undergrad, it took me a while to finish my undergrad, but my first go around in undergrad at the first university I went to, I didn't know anything about square footage. I didn't know what square footage really was. I didn't know roundabout what the size of square footage. When I first opened up my facility in 2016, we opened up a facility that was 3,200 square feet. 1,200 of it was strength and conditioning. 2,000 of it was PT clinic, physical therapy. We found that was way too small. So after 2 years, we had enough money. We upgraded to 8,500 square feet. That was much better. So preferred square footage is important, but you also have to understand that preferred square footage is going to raise your rent. Our rent was roughly around $1 a square foot per month. That was really low. He was a nice landlord, and he was he really liked us. So $1 a square foot was really low. I can tell you this, in Mayfair, it's roughly around $1.50 to $2 a square foot, depending on the location. So if you have an 8,000 square foot facility, you're paying anywhere between $12,000 to $16,000 a month in just rent alone. So think about that when you're thinking about your square footage, because that needs to go into your overhead expenses. And then these can be just examples. They don't have to be a lot. So legal needs, this can be literally a one paragraph, which one paragraph is 2 complete sentences. So all you need is literally 2 complete sentences. You could say legal needs. You could say, we need a risk management plan drawn up. If you're currently in Exercise Science 311, you can copy and paste the risk management plan that you're having to do for that class, because I took that class over. So you can copy and paste that and put it into the legal needs in your business plan. But if you're not in EXS 311, then don't worry about doing that. Then just write a 1 paragraph little deal saying, a risk management plan will be drawn up, and an attorney plus the management team will be drawing up the risk management plan to help avoid unwanted litigation. And that's fine. Insurance needs, this is going to be, it's either your assignment now or an assignment upcoming or an assignment you've already done. Insurance needs is you're going to need general liability and professional liability. So write out what general liability is, write out what professional liability is, and then an estimated cost on it. I can tell you my facility, with the amount of staff that I had 9 employees plus the 2 owners that were seeing patients, and we were a hybrid strength and conditioning rehabilitation facility. We paid in general liability and professional liability anywhere between, depending on sales, because they depended on sales, but it was anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 a year. So that's about insurance needs. Account needs. You're gonna need an accountant. There's no way you can own a business on your own without an accountant. And we had an accountant that did payroll. And then we had an accountant that did our quarterly reports. And if you're going to sell anything in the facility, you're going to have to do monthly payments to the state for sales tax. And then you got to run your quarterly reports and send your quarterly reports. There's a lot that goes on with an accountant. So you can kind of just do a 2-3 sentence blurb saying, we'll hire an accountant. The accountant fees will be roughly Usually it's around $100 to $150 a month to do payroll, quarterly reports, and then a yearly tax report that then costs about another $350. So you can write that up in your financial plan. This is all going to go in your table, by the way. You want to create a table for operational expenses. And in your table, like I said, brief, doesn't have to be a lot. Write up startup expenses. You can just write startup expenses and then have a total amount. And you want it to be relatively high because startup expenses are going to be the cost of all your equipment, which should be for a strength and conditioning facility will be roughly, if you don't buy new and you buy used, it'll be roughly around $40,000 to $50,000 for an average strength and conditioning facility. Any pre-construction costs, putting up walls or reinforcing walls, sometimes that can cost around $20,000. Maybe adding a bathroom. Don't do showers. Showers are like another $20,000. We did not have showers at my facility. It was way too expensive. Plus, you really don't need showers unless you're doing a big box gym. Then you're going to need showers. So you're looking at another $30,000 to $40,000 in just showers alone. Operational overhead expenses. This is the day-to-day operations. So you need to have stuff like in just an operational overhead expenses, and you don't have to be in detail in this. So you can just put a roundabout number. This includes payroll. This includes things like dry storage, like toiletries, hand sanitizer, paper, ink, office expenses. So that includes basically operational overhead expenses includes everything. Your utility, your payroll, I don't know if I already said that, your insurances. You can just do a roundabout cost on this. And I can tell you, speaking from experience, that depending on the size of your facility, if you're doing anywhere between a 5 to 10,000 square foot facility, your operational overhead expenses for everything, and you can write this down now and use this, will be anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 a month. Okay. For my facility, for an 8,000 square foot facility, everything out the door, including rent, we were roughly around $17,000 to $18,000 a month in overhead costs. That's how much our expenses were. Our startup expenses were around $65,000. And we bought everything used and did the construction ourselves to save money. So it costs a lot of money to get a business up and running and going. Your revenue forecast, this is your predicted revenue. And so how you figure this out, and this needs to go in your table as well, how you figure this out is, by the way, expenses put in red, revenue put in black, okay? Revenue forecast, the way you figure this out is you look at your cost of services, predict how many clients you're going to have in a given month, and then multiply the services by your clients, and then that's your revenue forecast. And then that'll show you, okay, your profit loss projections. Based on your expenses for the first 6 months and the revenue coming in, are you going to be at a positive or a negative? Now, you're just making up revenue forecast, but you've all been to a gym. You've all gone to a physical therapy clinic. You've all gone to, maybe you've seen a CrossFit, or maybe you've seen the rec center. You see how many people use that, but you also see the size. So if you have a 5,000 square foot facility, and you want to see in the first month, you would like to have 20 clients in the first month, or 50 clients in the first month, or 100 clients in the first month, which would be nice. 100 is really rare to have in the first month. You may get 20. So you can kind of guesstimate that out. So very unlikely you're going to have 100 people sign up. If you go to a CrossFit, most CrossFit gyms that start out usually get around 20 people the first month. The second month, maybe they'll get 30. The fourth month, maybe they'll get 40 or 50. They usually don't get more than 100. You usually don't see 100 people in a CrossFit, okay? Big box gyms, now you're talking like a TF Fitness or an O2, they're looking at roughly about 500 members a month. Really, really good gyms can have up to 1,000 members a month. But remember, the facility you are opening is not a well-known O2, 24 Fit, or one of these Anytime Fitness that has massive amounts of marketing money. You're not going to get that. It's just impossible. So be realistic here so that you can see what actual realistic numbers are. If you do, you're going to have 1,000 members. Well, you're not being realistic, and you're really not getting the benefit of writing up a business plan and having a real world experience of, wow, okay, this is really hard to open up a company. So that's what I want you to get out of it. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just, I want you to get out of it and realize, holy crap, it's really hard to own a business. All right, so then your money, your expenses are in red, your projected forecast is in black, and then you obviously subtract the two and you come up with your profit or loss projections for 6 months. Your break-even analysis is how much you need to make per month to just break even. And then all this is in table format. Appendix, any sort of pictures, business cards, ideas, whatever, all of this, t-shirts, all that stuff, mugs, goes in the appendix, okay? Banks definitely want to see that, all right? Okay, any questions on just this whole layout right here?
Did you say that the operational plan should be done in a table as well, or just the financial plan?
I would do all of this in one connected table.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this could all be in one. The account needs, no, that's just a 1 paragraph thing. But you just make sure you add that into operational overhead expenses. So in a real business plan, this would be delineated out by each little section. Like in let me just show you. I think I had it up in my business plan. Let me see. I can't see the top because the thing's down. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Let's see if I have my business plan in the Google Drive. This is my company's Google Drive. That's the employee manual. Hopefully I have it. I'm pretty sure I had the final. Let's see. This might be a draft. Okay, this is a, okay. This is a draft. So here's our table of contents. This wasn't a completed one, but this is one that we turned into Live Oak Bank to get our initial loan. So executive summary. Yours doesn't have to be this long, by the way, but you can see how long it was. We had some long-term goals put in. Our mission statements, business plan outline. So the concept feasibility, what was the feasibility of the concept, initial services offered, the competition, and then we went into demographics. So this is how far we went in depth. And this is what a bank wants to see. You guys don't have to do this for this project, but you need to see this is what it is. So how many people are in the Tri-County area, 15 to 18 years of age, 18 to 65 years of age? We went very, very in depth. Reported family income of $50,000 a year. This is or more. So the Tri-County area, the demographic that we were looking for was $58,000 to $98,000 a year. What was the average family size? So we did a lot of research. The different teams, how many teams are in the area, and then here's our projections that we were doing. Projected number of teams in the first year of sports medicine. We wanted to get 4 out of the 9 club teams contracted. Projected number of strength and conditioning in the first year. 20 to 35 participants in team strength and conditioning. Projected, or no, these are age groups. So 5 to 18 years. We wanted 20 to 35 clients in the first year for personal training services. 5 to 15 clients in the first year for 18 to 65 year age range. And then projected number of strength and conditioning team camps in the first year, we wanted 3. Our projected income from sports medicine in the first year, we just wanted to hit $5,500 in that first year for sports medicine outreach. We actually did $32,000 in the first year, so we broke our record. We did this right here. We did this for the next 2 and 3 years after as well. Our proposal services, this was our services: concussion screening, evaluation, rehabilitation, return to play. We wrote up an entire summary of that. Well, how much was the predicted expenses? How much was predicted income? So you see how in depth it went. We did short-term goals, long-term goals. Musculoskeletal rehab, we did the same thing. We did the problem, what was the need in the community, the solution, what we were going to provide, the target market, customer acquisition, what was the competition in the area, our team, who was going to be on our team, financial or predicted expenses. We did these in the appendix, predicted profit. This wasn't complete, but we filled out all of this for each service that we had. So each service that we had, we did a very in-depth analysis all the way down. We answered some important questions that the bank might ask. And then you don't have the appendices, but the appendix in our completed one had our fixed and disposable expenses, administrative expenses, current fixed and disposable inventory, and then our LLC operating agreement. So what you guys are creating is a very, very rough draft of what actually needs to happen and needs to be turned into a bank. So this is kind of the overview of it. All right, so any questions with just that right off the bat? Cool. All right. All right, let me go over this one right here, because this was a really good one that I've seen so far. So you want to put your logo here. Now, the whole entire document needs to be Times New Roman 12-point font. That's just APA. The whole reason why I want you guys to do APA is because when you go to grad school, you're absolutely going to have to do a lot of APA papers. I mean, all of your papers will be APA. Nobody taught me APA when I was an undergrad, so I want you guys to do it, okay? So right off the bat, everything needs to be changed to Times New Roman 12-point font. Your logo can be fine. I mean, that's whatever. Like, this is a good size. You really don't want to make it bigger than this. And then here you need to add in some stuff. So first and foremost, you need to put in your name. Then you need to put in the university. Right, and you can actually do UNC Wilmington. I'm fine with that. And then you need to put the school. Right, science, like so. At this point, you can put the department, exercise science, but you don't have to. And then just do the class number, EXS 312, and then put my name, and then the due dates. So that's what you want your title page to look like, okay? This is okay down here, the Wix site, that's fine. You don't have to do that, but that's pretty good. Ideally, you want to have the page number in the top right-hand corner, but that's fine that it's down here. I'm not gonna be too much of a stickler on that. So all of this is a good table of contents. He used the table of contents wizard, so really good job. If you want to learn how to do that, I can do a separate Zoom with you and show you how to do that. But this whole thing then needs to be changed to Times New Roman, 12-point fonts, make sure the color's here. And then this guy we want to have centered. All right, and then boom, this is a APA cited table of contents. And then everything is good to go here like so. All right. Executive summary, this is okay. I don't mind the bullet point. You just want to have a little bit more of just a one paragraph overview of what's going to be ahead in the document. Company description, this is good. I would move the company description paragraph from the marketing deal. So all the way, let's see, right here. So I would move this to up here, and then just have this be the intro, like so. And then, oh, let's go over this. So these are, everything needs to be in Times New Roman, of course. So let's just go ahead and highlight the whole document. So all of this needs to be Times New Roman, 12-point font, black ink. So we're good there. Another thing is let's change the paragraph to double space, and then we'll fix the formatting on the spacing here in a second. Let's just go back through. All right, so level 1 headings for APA style is centered and bolded. So we'll do that. So this is a level 1 heading here, center and bold. And then this is a level 2 heading. So your level 2 heading is just left, justify, and bolded. This we can make not, and then actually we don't even need this. Well, yeah, that's fine. You can keep that mission, vision statement. So this we don't want bolded. Then we bold this. So all level 2 headings you want to bold. So these are level 2 headings. This is a level 1 heading. Let's see, what's that from? Let's just delete that. And then let's start this on its own page. All right, cool. All right, so level 2 heading. I'm not going to go and do all this stuff, but you get the idea. So level 1 headings there, level 2 headings left justified there. Same thing. This is a level 1 heading. So you go through product descriptions, level 2 heading, and then this is where also in your product description, take from the marketing plan. Take your services that you have. I don't know if it's still in here, but you want to put a bullet point list here. So I'd write bullet points list of services and cost to clients. And then make sure this matches up with, this doesn't have to be in red. I'm just putting it in red so that I'm going to email this back to him so that he knows that that's what's needed here. Make sure that this matches up with your target market. If your monthly cost to your client is $60 a month, or maybe you're a PT clinic and you're fee for service, not insurance, and you are, $125 a session, well then you need to make sure that that matches up with the socioeconomic status of your target market. Because if they are low SES, then they're not going to be able to afford that. So you need to make sure that they match up. Community needs. This is kind of like what I did. You can just do a brief paragraph. You don't need to write, there are 700 population in Wilmington. You could just write, a community needs assessment will be done in the region of Wilmington, assessing how many individuals are within our target market in that area and how many may be of active population. And then that's fine. But that knows that if you ever decide to open up a business, that's what you need to do. And if you ever decide to open up a business and you feel like shooting me an email and asking for some help, I don't mind. Anytime I could help someone, that's good. So, all right, so we're good there. We move this up. So that's kind of it. So then you just got to go through and fix the formatting, bold all this stuff. All this stuff looks good. Good target market. I like the socioeconomic status here. Make over 125,000. So, I mean, not that that's awesome, but I mean, you wrote it. So that's good. So you're going for a really high-end clientele. So you're looking at a really high-end facility, which just to let you know, 125 a year as combined household income, that's pretty good. That means that they're making about 60,000 a year. The husband and wife or the two partners, are making about 60,000 a year, 60,000+ a year. So that's a middle socioeconomic status. If they're both making 125 a year, then that's a high middle income socioeconomic status. That's really good. So the rest of these look really good. Cost benefit analysis right here. This is good for this project, but like I said in the other, I didn't have an example of the one that we did, but it goes very, very much more in detail when you're actually opening up your business, because the bank really wants to see this, okay? And so I would say what is missing here, and then this is a pretty good outline of the services. I really like this. And so products required, this is good. This is almost like a break-even analysis, you know, to a certain extent. But if you're getting a total monthly of 22,500, that's pretty good, you know? So if your overhead, your total expenses is 22.5, this is your break-even analysis. So you've already done your break-even analysis here. This is really good. So I would just title this cost benefits / break-even analysis. To figure out your return on investment, then you come up with your projected sales of what you want. So you could do another table like this and go projected in the first 6 months. And then, you know, do you think you'll actually get 25 personal training sessions in the first month? Maybe at the end of the first 6 months, you'd have that. But it's all just kind of projections. So, and then good paragraph here. In order to break even, I would have to have 450 basic members. That's a really good, you know, you see here, like, wow, at $30 a month, you'd have to have 450. So if you make your facility $60 a month, you cut that in half, right? So think about that. Now, granted, how many people would actually come if it was 60 a month? You probably wouldn't have, you know, 200 plus. At 450 members, it would take you a while to get 450 members. I know myself, we were open from 2016 to 2018. We didn't have 450 members. I wish we had 450 members. We had maybe about 150. So it's really hard to get members. It's not easy. Granted, we were 40 a month, not 30. So, so kind of basic member. I like how you have the different memberships too. Hard to sell these. We tried to do this. Hard to sell these though. But you know, good idea. Spacing like this, go ahead and just take out. You know, you don't want to have that excess spacing. And then also make sure that underneath these guys, it's just double spaced. A lot of times this can happen right here. So you don't want this. You want to make sure this is at 0. And it's just double spaced. And you can actually do the whole document, so you don't have to worry about all that sort of stuff. We can go to the top and then just take it and go all the way down and then fix the paragraph for the whole document. So I'll just do that real quick for this one since I'm already on it. Paragraph. So you can see how none of this stuff lines up. So you want it to be there, that's fine. The rest of this, you're fine, but just make sure that that's like that, and then make sure that we're still at double. And then that's good. That fixes all the spacing. By the way, that's APA. So APA, you got to make sure that you're like that. I'm just kind of going through and doing some stuff. All right. So any questions on that, on formatting? This is a good draft moving forward. So this is underneath marketing products. Nice. So this is a good example of a good start. Operational timeline, upfit timeline, stuff like that. So for like operational timeline or upfit timeline, you know, you can literally just write, you know, construction, you know, construction and equipment move in will take approximately 3 months to complete. And then maybe, you know, what construction you're doing, what equipment you're moving in, and then boom, you have a complete paragraph, right? And then just go from there, you know? So that's your example for that. Now, if you're actually opening up the facility, this needs to be a little bit more in depth moving forward. So, all right, any questions?
I don't have a question, but just a comment to tell you so you can tell your other students. So for me, I pulled up the Word document and you can actually start from a template. And so if you look up APA 6, it'll come up with like everything already laid out for you and you just have to fill in the space. So it makes it really, really easy.
Is awesome. How do you, I didn't know Microsoft Word
Honestly,
had that.
I don't know how I did it. Like whenever I click on Word for some reason, it like comes up to where like I have to select the template that I start with.
Like this?
Yeah, so you search for online template in that bar, you just type in
No
APA
way. Are you
and
kidding?
it'll
You
come
can
up.
actually do that.
Yeah,
Let's see
it's
this one.
phenomenal.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my
Right? I know.
God.
I literally didn't know how to do APA and then I just figured this out. So anyway, that's a
Wow,
good
this is amazing. You know what? I've been teaching at UNCW since 2013 and I never knew this existed.
fact. Well, now you know.
Yep, you learn something new every day. You're awesome. Sweet. That is
No
so
problem.
cool. Well, there you go, students. You have that. And thankfully, this is being recorded. So awesome. Well, good to know. Cool. Any other questions or comments or anything? Sweet. Well, hopefully, sorry, did someone say something?
Yeah, I have a question about the training plan because you also said we needed it in your 311 class.
Yeah.
Like, what are you actually looking for? Because I didn't know, like, what kind of stuff, like, you wanted us to put in the training plan.
Yeah. Okay. So good question. And then for the 311 as well. And then this is just super brief. Like I'm just fixing stuff as I see it. Let's see. I think I put the training plan, staffing right here. So training plan. So let's see what, in order to ensure capable staff, best services, we're going to hire. Okay. This is good. We will also require prospective employees. Yeah. So stuff like this is good. What you're going to require for them along with technical training every 6 months will hold. Yeah. So, okay. So harassment and customer service. So what you want to put, and this is perfect what you want in it. This is a perfect training plan right here for this project. Now, when you get into actually working and you're doing like in 311, the risk management strategies guide and for other stuff, then you want to get in detail and you want to say stuff like, you know, the employee orientation and yearly training will include the following topics. And then you can literally do, actually we can do this one, not left or not indented. Okay. Then down here, you can literally do bullet point and then you can write, you know, squat technique and spotting, you know, or better than squat technique, you can say weightlifting technique and spotting. You know, then, you know, maybe you have sexual harassment in the workplace, you know, stuff like that. But for this project, and then this person could actually keep this in. The employee orientation yearly training will include the following topics. And then we can just write, you know, example here, you know, for this project. But, you know, a little bit of an intro. And then if you want to write some examples like this, that's fine. You know, if you're writing up a holistic facility, then writing up a holistic facility. I know, Kenzie, you're doing a really cool project. You're doing like a whole holistic, almost like a hotel, you know, place, which is awesome, by the way. So you're going to have like food and you're going to have all sorts of stuff. So you would need to be, you can be real basic with this, by the way, don't go crazy. But you would want to have more stuff in your training plan if you're actually going to do it. But you can just put a real brief sentence of that your project will have, you're going to have a training plan for hotel management. You're going to have a training plan for restaurants and bar. And you're going to have a training plan for the yoga experience and the holistic experience that you're going to put in. So that's what I would put for you, Kenzie.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? That was a good question, by the way. Sweet. Well, like I said, your learning is absolutely most important for me. So, I mean, you guys pay my salary. Your tuition pays my salary. So I'm here for you. If you guys need anything, please shoot me an email. I don't mind meeting. I'm a super huge nerd about exercise science, fitness, physical therapy. I don't mind talking about any of this stuff. So even if you're like, hey, I'm really interested in actually doing this, the first thing I'll say is, okay, let's see if we can get you some backers. And then the second thing I'll say is, all right, let's dive into how hard this is actually going to be. So, you know, and moving forward. So, but it's all doable. All right. With that, enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I will talk to you all later.
Thank you.